A tree losing its leaves in winter is an example of a seasonal adaptation. An animal whose color changes so it can camouflage in different seasons is an example of a seasonal adaptation. Buoyancy is the fancy science word for floating. Some things will sink, some will float. Notice the clay ball at the bottom sinks, the clay boat at the top floats. Why? Because we changed its shape. Pollination is when animals like bees or butterflies or bats land on a flower to drink some nectar, and they bring pollen from that flower to the other flower. Then that flower can start growing seeds. That's called pollination. The trick to remembering the words for the water cycle. Cloud begins with C, condensation begins with C. Pouring begins with P, precipitation begins with P. Runoff is water running off the land. Accumulation is when it fills up in lakes or puddles or streams. Groundwater is not shown here. That's when the water soaks into the ground. And evaporation is when water changes from liquid to gas. The insect life cycle is called metamorphosis. It means big changes. Starts as an egg, grows into a larva, becomes a pupa, then it's an adult. Here's how you can remember what is the correct order. If you start with adult, starts with A, put them in alphabetical order. Adult, egg, larva, pupa. The basic needs of animals, that means the things that they must have to stay alive. Food, water, protection or shelter, and air or oxygen. Life cycle of a frog starts off as an egg, must be laid in water. The tadpole hatches, it breathes underwater like a fish using gills. It grows into a tadpole with legs. Then it grows into a froglet, which is a little froggy with a tail. And then when the tail's totally gone, it's an adult frog. And that is another example of metamorphosis because it's a big change. Why is it hot in summer and cold in winter? The red dot on the Earth there is where we are, PS19. In summertime, we're leaning towards the sun, so we get hit with the sun's rays more directly. In wintertime, we're leaning away, so the sun's rays kind of skim past us. That's why it's so cold. Science word for rain, snow, sleet, or hail, precipitation. Clouds are an example of condensation. Water vapor turning back into liquid. The rock cycle. Rocks are constantly changing over the course of millions of years. A metamorphic rock is formed by heat and pressure. Igneous rock is when it completely melts into magma or lava and then cools off. That's igneous. Sedimentary rock is when little broken bits of rock are piled up over millions of years and they get squished together forming layers. Sedimentary rock. That's the rock cycle. Oh, did I mention the animals' basic needs are food, water, air, and shelter? Or food, water, oxygen, and protection? Yes, I did. Well, now I did twice, and there's nothing you can do about it.